Hello, welcome to the Book by Book, a podcast about the odd book or two we've read. I'm your host, Scott, and I'm not alone. Tobie's here too. This episode, we're talking about Help, I'm Trapped in Santa's Body by Todd Strasser. It's going to be a fairly spoiler-heavy episode, so if that's okay with you, continue on, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, ho, 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 and welcome.
Toby,
Hello, Scott.
we're about to have a mini falling out because I think I know the answer to the question. It's we're sort of getting around to Christmas time here.
It is
Toby,
indeed.
what's your ultimate Christmas movie?
Oh, wow. Let me give that some Die Hard.
I'm gonna say, don't say Die Hard. You know, it doesn't. You know, a few years ago, 10 years ago, when people started saying it, and you go, "Oh yeah, I suppose that's kind of clever." You know, that subverts. But now we're past that to like, no, it's not. It's not Christmassy. There's no spirit of Christmas. There's no miracles. It's not.
Oh, there is a miracle. He jumps off the top of Nakatomi Towers tied to a fire hose. That's a miracle.
If he hadn't been tied and the gust of wind with a jingle in the wind, jing, 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 and ho, 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 blew him up, maybe I'd take it, but I don't know. You know,
it is a Christmas film. Where do you stand on that, though? Do you not believe it's a Christmas film? Or?
I mean, it was like exactly that. It was fun for the arguments like 10 years ago, but it's not, is it?
It is.
It's just
like Christmas. It's got Christmas all over it. There's a tree.
But that's you're like listed. But this is it. You're listing the bullet points, and it's that thing of like when The Martian, the movie The Martian, slipped into the category of we're going for an Academy Award for Best Comedy because we can break it down and say yes, there are X amount of jokes which clarify this is comedy. It's not though, is it? So you can tick the boxes, and we can and I can say, okay, you're right. Technically, it's a Christmas movie. But it's just not, is it? It's not the spirit of Christmas.
I think
because I can watch it all year round and feel great about that movie because I love it. I'm not going to watch Elf in August. I'm not watching Home Alone in July. The Muppets Christmas Carol fits in a small box.
I don't know. I think you can watch Home Alone. You can watch any time of the year. It's not just a Christmas.
Yeah, but it kills it because that's
Home Alone 2, possibly more so.
It's. I mean, I feel like Home Alone is really underrated because I honestly think I've watched it every year, once a year.
Yeah.
Since I can remember, or since it came on TV, and I can still laugh. Like Catherine O'Hara still gives a hell of a heartfelt performance that it brings a tear to my eye. The kid cusps but never crosses the line into annoying.
Yeah, that's completely true.
The bully brother is great at not crossing the line of being like a Stephen King. He's threatening to murder him. It's okay. It's that thing in modern times. There's a lot of jokes about like they're millionaires. Look how big their house is. Who entertains flying their extended family to Paris?
Yeah.
There's even joke fan erotica about the pizza boy and Kevin's mum.
Amazing! Wow, can't say I've ever.
I haven't read it. I've just sort of come across those YouTube deep holes,
right?
Holes, like here's a recut trailer to make Kevin look like a psychopath.
Yes, they did have The Shining, didn't they?
Right. Lots of fun. I'm going to go. I think The Muppets Christmas Carol for me.
Okay. So if you was to remove Die Hard from the available list of best Christmas movies, I will always watch Die Hard at Christmas. I feel like it's a staple part of
how old's your daughter? Is she old enough to watch Die Hard
yet? She's watching it with me this year, probably.
For the first time? That's exciting. I like that. Are you worried it's old hat in her young eyes?
Yes.
Like there's no Captain America and fancy VFX. Like
it is old hat, but it's also it has cuss words in it, and Lana doesn't really watch cuss words in. So there's a level of I shouldn't really be watching this, but my dad said I can. So hopefully that'll carry over. Yes, but other than that, what's my favourite Christmas? That's it's.
Don't say Die Hard 2.
Yeah, But like a strict miracle on 34th Street, maybe.
Oh man, this is going to upset you. I've never seen it.
That's good.
Is that a court case drama?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I think that's why it never appealed to me as a kid. I think A, being the youngest of four, I never really got the choosing of the remote. And B, like that, it was always advertised as the really wide-eyed girl.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it being a court case drama.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more to it than that because... But
it's highly guided. I mean, it is very enjoyable, although I can't really remember that much of it.
Do you ever remember one called The Santa Claus with, I think, Dudley Moore, maybe as an elf, and John Lithgow, and it's all about
Santa Claus, a movie.
Yeah, and there's these green crystals.
When you say, "Do you remember?" It's like it's like
I wasn't
the
sure.
Christmas film of all Christmas films. Everybody.
And no, but it left a haunting image. I think there's these green crystals.
Yes.
The reindeer eat to fly.
Yeah.
And I think it's that I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but it's about like a corporate company taking over Santa.
Yeah.
And I just remember Jonathan Lithgow in a suit eating these green crystals to escape, but just remember thinking, this is horrific. Like he's eating glass. You know, it just like scarred me. I still remember.
See, this is where memory versus factual.
Oh, maybe it didn't even happen.
Have taunted your existence. I don't believe he eats the green crystals. I believe he eats candy cane that is laced with the magic from the green crystals. He stuffs his face full of candy cane and floats out off through the window.
It's funny what we remember as a kid that terrified us. I remember catching the end.
It's a terrifying film.
The Santa Claus.
Really?
So I was right.
It's quite dark. Yeah, I queued to see Santa Claus movie in the cinema with my family. It was a massive queue, huge, went round the block. Absolutely gigantic thing.
The good old days, huh? Event cinema.
When cinema was cool.
I guess I said, do you remember? Because in my head, it was a British movie, maybe because it just had Dudley Moore, but maybe it's not at all. It was like a big American production thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Tobie, it's a bit of a sort of, not satirical, but I've been reading Help, I'm Trapped in Santa's Body by Todd Strasser. Now, basically, instead of looking in who Todd Strasser was, I didn't. But let me give you the plethora of his other novels.
How did you come across this one?
It was in the free library. Like I've said in Toronto, you get a little birdhouse.
Yeah.
Stuffed with books that people don't want to exchange, and I thought that will make a fun episode for Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
We've always done it, but I like. Weirdly enough, we never hit Halloween. We never like, let's do a spooky one for Halloween. I think it's the timing, right? Like we're quite slow, so we need to prepare. We need to start now. I thought it would be fun. It's just, it's definitely. Like, I would say this is like aimed at 8-year-olds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe you can tell me at the end. You're better with what's appropriate for kids.
Is it, what size is the font?
Pretty chunky. It's like 100 pages with a few pictures.
Right.
You know, I think I read it in like 2 sittings. But let me tell you what else Todd Strasser has written, so you get the idea. Hey, Dad, Get a Life. From Malone, Jumanji, Free Willy. Help, I'm Trapped in My Teacher's Body. Please Don't Be Mine, Julie Valentine. Help, I'm Trapped in the First Day of School. Help, I'm Trapped in Obedience School. Help, I'm Trapped in the President's Body. Where was the really fun one? Yeah, Girl Gives Birth to Own Prom Date. Did I say that one?
Whoa,
so those are some of the
I wonder if it's the same person that's trapped in all these bodies, or if it's a different person. This is not a Choose Your Own Adventure, though.
No. This is just a little Christmas.
So he wrote Jumanji.
I think he wrote the children's novelization of it.
Okay,
not the screenplay of any of these things. I think I've never heard of it. I'm sure I would have heard.
The book that inspired the film.
The fact that also here is Jumanji and Free Willy makes me think he did the novelization.
Yeah.
Kudos. Kind of, I always think that must be kind of fun to I guess check in with what you can't get away with, like how much backstory can you give to random characters. Maybe that's where like the Home Alone mum,
Yeah.
the pizza boy, was fantasizing about Kevin's
fan
mum.
fiction comes in. That's brilliant. I can't believe that. It's not even a thing.
So we kick off with a bunch of kids basically arguing about what the best thing would be about being Santa.
Oh.
And it kind of comes down to you could give yourself every present you ever wanted.
Wow. What's the best thing about being Santa?
What's not clear is if they've seen the movies we've seen. I've never seen a movie that didn't make it look like flipping hard work. Because in their world, and I believe in this world, it implies that for Santa, Christmas Day is kind of every day or once a week. It's not a once a year job.
Right. Okay. So he's prepping beforehand.
Yeah.
There's lots of list taking. All nice. Okay. Yeah. You know what? My version of Santa is always one day done and dusted.
And then you get the rest of the year off.
You get the rest of the year off. You sleep in, hibernate like a hedgehog or bear or something. You just wake up, you do your thing, and then you go back to bed again. That's always been my envisioning of Santa Claus.
It's like a long version of COVID. Just checking if I have to go back into work. No, I'm not
work from home today.
Oh, we've come so far, and I'm bringing it up again. Naughty. Sorry, everyone. I've ruined Christmas.
You're off the list. Okay, so
I would like a mighty beard. I'm a very patchy beard guy.
Right.
Like I have like the size of a fingerprint, just patches, but the beard won't grow. It's very unasymmetrical.
Yeah, mine isn't thick enough to really. Like I can grow a good beard, but it's never thick enough to look cool. It's always a bit on the lightweight side. But being Santa, there's loads. I think it depends on you. Yeah, like is it a one-day thing or is it a whole year thing? Are you constantly working? Would you want to give yourself any present? Like, I guess you could play with that present for your off time and then.
But I guess coming as from an adult point of view, I don't think Santa gives like grown-up toys. Maybe you get a bike. Maybe you get an Xbox.
Yeah.
You never get like a car.
No.
Or stuff. A mid-teen most.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ins and outs between these three about the best and the worst of. The worst being no one wants his big butt.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a shame. That's all those mince pies.
And also, when your beard and moustache is that heavy, do you get boogers in it? And especially because you're traipsing around wintry times all the time.
You can't get mince pies.
That was a bonus for me.
Right.
Was being in like nice warm homes. I do love that Christmassy, like when someone's put the F in. Like recently on our chat group, I thought my tree was okay. I've got one up. And then one of our mutual friends put their trees up, and I thought, I feel like Charlie Brown with that little squash thing he has.
Yeah.
Damn it, Fergal. That's a beautiful,
I know.
huge
My
tree.
God, that tree was amazing.
The son of a bee. Now I feel like
that tree was as big as some people's wardrobes, cupboards, and it was just a monster.
It was flipping glorious. Kudos to you, but you've made the rest of us feel down. You've ruined.
That's what's those beef Wellingtons. The food. I guess you saw the food shots as well. Sorry, we're talking about things there. But there was just a plethora of beef Wellingtons, or looked like beef Wellingtons, and 3 of these big pastry things that were feed a family of 50, and there was 5 of them around the table. Like, damn.
Yeah. I'm on a snack hiatus for 1 week.
Oh, wow.
Like I get very, like for me being a kid, there was just like the Christmas period had like a table of like nuts and snacks and chocolatey sweets, and we were all sort of trusted not to go mental. Which we were pretty good, you know what I mean? Like we would sneak them all the time, but not like an entire box of 90s quality street, which was 3 times the size now, would last like a week or 2.
Yeah.
So that's very evocative for me. But now I'm more of a greedy pig than then. Snacks don't last.
Okay.
We've had some friends recently, and it's just been a very like eating takeout, eating out. I've been trying to get into the Christmas spirit by basically snacking to So I'm now taking 1 week off so I can enjoy the next few weeks.
Okay.
I forgot this morning and I had a slice of cheesecake. It's not going great. I got up extra early to do something, and in the morning haze, getting a coffee, I just thought, oh, cheesecake. I haven't had breakfast. Perfect. It's not going well.
Well, it's a cheesecake for breakfast. Nice. Coffee
It was
and cheesecake. Yeah.
You can see my issues.
Yeah, just mild tangent. What is your snack of choice for Christmas?
Over Christmas, it's not that I love it. Oh, I love a mince pie. A little harder to get out here. A little sweeter.
Yeah. Okay.
I love some classic Christmas cake covered in brandy. Again, not huge out here.
Icing?
Yeah, I mean, I can do without the icing if I'm honest, but I'll
no.
take it if there is some.
Yeah, icing and the almond in middle bit as well. Marzipan. Oh, has to be all there.
Does a little sausage wrapped in bacon count as a snack, or are we moving into more savoury main meals now?
Oh, no, a little sausage.
Yeah, but I must admit they come with the Christmas dinner. There's not plates of bacon wrapped foods around.
Yeah.
If you like the sweet mix, I picked this up from a Swedish friend. Wrap a bit of bacon around like a date, like a nice juicy date.
Oh wow! Okay,
that goes pretty well if you can get it crispy.
Okay,
and you can say it's a fruit and vegetable. I've leveled it out.
Yeah, it's one about 5 a day. Amazing. Okay, yeah.
Of course, the quality streets. That's the be all end all. A big list. What you're going to get.
I'm not a fan of the big tins of chocolates.
Well, no.
No, I just get a bit sort of like. I think it's because we get them at work as well a lot. So you have them at work, you come home, and then, yeah.
It's like I used to work at a hotel, and we used to do these conference rooms, and we used to like a free vending machine twist of yogurt covered raisins and chocolate covered peanuts.
Okay.
So you have all you want, you know what I mean? Like fill your pockets and take them home. About a week and a half in, you are sick of it. You're like, oh no, I can't. It's just, I've overdone it. Don't ever give me a yogurt, a raisin, peanut or chocolate again for a year. I've ruined it.
Yeah. I had a really nice snack the other day that was, someone made it at home, and it was peanut butter stuffed inside a date, drowned in white chocolate.
Nice. Sickly. 3 things.
Oh my God.
Very Moorish, but I've overdone it quickly, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like a strong cocktail.
But I highly recommend 2 of those after late night snacks, dinner.
How do you get, you probably have a giant syringe for the peanut butter, don't you? I was like, how do you?
Well, you cut it open, you just stuff, white butter in the middle of it, because then you got to take the stone out. And right. Round it in chocolate.
Replace the stone with it, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, okay.
The 2 friends get sent home, and it's like he's basically working on his Christmas list.
Okay, so we've got there's 3 friends in total, isn't there?
And now a sister who's like, I'm doing a coat drive, I'm getting rid of all this for the homeless, we don't need it. And the kid's like, yo, that coat reminds me of the time I did this thing, I want to keep it. That scarf reminds me of this thing. And the sister's like, so like, literally you had like a double ice cream and you want to keep a scarf you don't wear anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like, you guys have forgotten what Christmas is about. And they're like, get out of here, like, gross sister. What do you know?
Is she older or younger?
She's a little older.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like sister brother hijinks,
Yeah.
Like maybe I could give your sister as a present to the zoo. You couldn't even take her. She's too smelly. That kind of like young kid hijinks. And the kid's like very sneaky with his presents. He's like, hey dad, here's a list of like the 10 things I want for Christmas. And next to it is like where you can get it from at its cheapest. Like, don't forget, you owe me a hockey stick. And dad's like, what do you mean? So, well, I broke it a few weeks ago and you said you'd get me another one by like end of November. And the dad's like, well, maybe you'll get one for Christmas. He's like, that's not fair because then you'll get me one less thing that I'm owed. Can't pull a wool over kids' eyes. But you can see where this is going with the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah. What's the furthest length you've gone to guarantee you'll get the present you want?
Oh, I don't know. I never really wanted stuff that for a long time.
Yeah.
Like when Christmas morning was there, I'd forgotten everything on my list. I was never like a long kid. So it was like, I remember after watching Home Alone 2 and seeing that you could get a talk boy was a real thing.
Right.
I asked my parents for it for ages, but I always knew, like, you can't moan, you can't be a little whiny.
Yeah.
And I just forgot. And then I opened up and I got it on Christmas Day, and it was the surprise of my life. It just felt like I was just like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I think some years ago when I was I reckoned I was like around 6-ish, 7-ish, maybe younger, I hope. My uncle got me a remote control car, and I pulled it out to play a bit. And back then they weren't. It had a little wire from the remote to the thing. It was, and I remember,
it wasn't radio controlled. It was remote.
Yeah, and I remember going, "Oh, it's one of those," like in front of everyone, And my dad went, he just went, "Can I have a quick word, son?" You know what I mean? Like, pulled me aside and basically was like, "Don't ever be ungrateful like that for anything ever again." Like, he wasn't punishing me because it was like I didn't even want me to cry on Christmas. But my memory, at least, is like I just ran and hugged my uncle, and I was like, I love it," and it worked because if memory serves, I still remember that, and I reckon, I'm showing my age, that the fact that you could buy those then, always like, this is bloody amazing. I love it. Like, I've always remembered that lesson worked. Not you do not owed anything. It's a bonus.
Yes. I think for me it was, there's two things I really, really wanted. One was a Commodore 64 and the other was a mountain bike, and they were both in a catalog.
Is that the same year?
No.
Okay, that's a big year.
Yeah, and they were both in the catalog, and I used to pretend to fall asleep with the catalogue open on the page, so that my dad would come in and check that I was asleep and tuck me into bed.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Open on the page the thing that I really, really wanted. And I remember you used to pretend that it had arrived and it was in the living room, and I would convince my brother and sister it was there, and then come running into the living room to see it wrapped up under the tree, and it would be the magazine stood open on the page that it was the picture in. Yeah, so those are kind of the lengths I went to guarantee that, and make it clear that that's what I wanted. Lo and behold, the year of the Commodore 64, I actually got an Amiga 500. So I was proper chuffed.
Oh yeah, like that was, it wasn't like...
That was the next one up. That was like getting a PlayStation 1 when you wanted a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, good year.
Yeah. So we understand that this kid is very, like, he's making deals for the presents he gets.
Bartering.
Basically, to cut it a little short, even though it's already short, the family's like, "Yo, we're going over to your auntie's. It's like a bit of a tradition." And the kid's like, "What's the point? Like, why do we have to stay over?" She just like makes these cookies that aren't as good as, I don't know, Tim Hortons cookies. She always makes us thrifty, knitted stuff. Who cares? Sod that. Can we stay home and watch TV and stuff? The parents are like, "Okay, well, you're actually old enough to stay home if this is what you would want. Are you sure? Like, you're just letting this is, we're not going to make you, and you seem like you don't really want to come and you don't enjoy it." So they're sort of, okay, so they leave the kid alone for the night. And that's when he sort of like, I think he stays up to watch TV, has some sweets. Like, he's still a good kid. He's still like, it's like I'm tired, I'm going to go to bed. I think I don't know, maybe he's older than 6. Maybe the characters are a bit older. Maybe they're 10, 11, maybe. They're on the edge of not believing in Santa.
Right. Okay.
Like, between the 3 friends, they're like, "Well, you don't believe him anymore, do you?" And one of them's sort of a bit shy to like
open up about where he stands. Yeah. So it's this Christmas Eve they've been left on their own? No,
this is like a couple of days before, I think.
Okay.
Like it's in that run up.
Yeah.
The school's finished. And lo and behold, there's like a sort of banging on the roof.
Right.
He goes out, and there's a guy, and he's like a new aged Santa. I think he's wearing like a red leather, like a bomber jacket and tracksuits, like a bike helmet, but that's red. And he's got the beard, but it's braided, and his hair's braided.
That's pretty cool.
Like, who are you?
Jamaican Santa.
So I guess here's the argument he has when he's talking to him, and he's like, "Yo, I'm Santa." And he's like, no one over 5 believes in Santa anymore. Like an overweight guy. And this is where he's like, how he basically, the logistics of how it works gets in his head. He's like, don't give me that time stretch business where a minute lasts an hour. I'm not having that. FedEx find it hard to stay on schedule, and there's millions of them. How are you doing it? And he's like, yo, I just crashed I think they call it a cloud. I don't know what a wave rider is.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if that's like a name for a jet ski, but he's like, I just crashed my cloud rider.
Yeah.
Can I come in and use your phone and just till a mechanic comes out? And he's like, you're a stranger and I don't believe in Santa. So he says, last week, you basically took a test you didn't prepare for and you looked over and you cheated off the girl opposite you. And he poops a brick because he's like, I haven't told anyone that. No one knows. That's something I got away with that I've never spoken out loud. Ergo, you are Santa. Holy crapiola. And so he's like, yo, I'm really busy and the mechanics can't get here. Can I just crash here till the morning? Do you have a fax machine? I've got this naughty and nice list to make. By the way, I'm tired. I think I want to quit. I hate being Santa. So it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I think we didn't talk about the cons of being Santa. A bit, but the pros. I was thinking the big con for me would be like, do you have to deliver to the houses that are like anti-Christmas? What about people who are like that? I don't know. I guess it's unfair to say like, yo, you didn't do any preparations. Oh no, it makes it worse. Then I don't know if they're on the good list.
Well, yeah, for people that religions that don't believe in Santa, I guess that equates for a large amount of. It's probably why he can achieve what he does achieve. It's because he doesn't have to go to every house.
Like, is Santa anti-religious to a lot of religions? Maybe we won't get into that here and now. It's like the devil and
for someone else's podcast.
A guy who breaks in people's houses. So he starts getting facts of people's names and he's figuring out his naughty, nice lists. And every now and then he's like, do you know this kid? What's he like? And he's like, oh no, that's a bad egg. He's like a bully. It doesn't go into it. The kid gets a bit of a power trip. He does that like 3 times. He's like, oh, if you see this guy on your list, take him off. He never returned something he borrowed.
Right. Okay.
I thought that was going to come back to haunt him. Like, who are you to pass judgment? No, it's just one of the perks. It's that you can get your own back with people.
Nice.
So his friends come around and it's like, oh, I thought we were going to hang out. You've got the house alone till like the end of the day. And there's a little talking around to like, is it Santa? And he basically pulls the same trick. Like, yo, you stole like a sweet from the shop. Like a naughty thing they did.
I know things.
It's Santa. He knows the whole elf on a shelf shebang. And they basically start trying to play him. They're like, can I just get the computer I wanted now? If you're here, you can give it to me. I'll get my sisters. Like, they're just trying to like hustle Santa.
Yeah.
And he basically goes into his diatribe of like, I'm going to quit after this year. I'm going to go to like one of those beach resorts in like California. I'm going to be sipping pina coladas with my feet up. And I guess that cheeky, I'm picturing the Mrs. Santa in the still the Christmas themes, but a bikini with a coconut drink. And it slowly kind of dawns on them what that means. What about the kids that believe in you? And he's like, well, there's not enough and sucks to be them, but Yeah. And he's like, yo, what I could do is you could help me out by going to the mall and getting some fax paper. Yes, we'll help you out. Because I think they're like, we just need Santa to keep going for a few years while we're still in the bracket of getting presents. Self-serving. And at the mall, it's like Santa gives the main kid, Josh, I think, don't open yours till you're there. He's in the mall and he opens it and it says, thanks for helping me out. You are Santa. And he looks down and he's got it all. He's literally, what's that Tim Allen movie where it's like he shaves, but it just grows back. Yeah. And he's Santa in a mall and it takes some getting used to. Kids run up to him and say, are you Santa? He says no. And they run off crying. And he gets angry mums kicking him, saying, say yes.
Wow.
And then like a big conglomerate store is like, yo, come and work for me. What I want you to do is do the whole Santa on the knee thing. but he's sneaky. He's like, I thought we would do it out the front so everyone can see me. He's like, no, 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 come here at the back of the store so that the queue is all around my store.
Okay.
He like moves all the kids' toys around the queue. He puts TVs up advertising it. And he basically has people whispering into kids' ears, oh, that's a nice bike. Don't you want that for Christmas? So it's like the kids are like, I want that bike I just saw a few minutes ago.
I did that as Santa once.
Well, you just gave away,
Yeah.
just said yes to everything.
The kids were like on my knee and they were like, so what do you want from Santa? And I don't really know. I said, would you like a yacht?
So you didn't just figure around the politics. Something that happens in this book, Josh finds out, is that at first kids are crazy and they're different ages. So kids are like, I want a Mercedes Benz. I want a small South African country at its most extreme. And he just says, yep, sure. Just to move them along. And then the parents come back like, what did you just say yes for? You have to like politically say, oh, I don't think we can do that. But if you're a good boy, you'll have to wait and see. You have to skirt the issue, I suppose.
Yeah. It was very much tongue in cheek with me.
When did you dress up as Santa? When was this?
I was working at MPC, so the Moving Picture Company, which was a large post-production house in London. They were short-staffed in the Santa department, as in they'd kitted out the entire top floor as a Santa's grotto and had 50-plus kids turn up waiting to see Santa, and Santa didn't turn up and bailed. So they needed somebody to step in. And I was like, well, if you can't find anybody, I'll play Santa.
Bearded people. You were the most bearded person in the vicinity.
Well, I had to, it was all fake, I had to put like a pillow up my jumper and a small guy. But I played it amazingly. The kids went bonkers.
I've seen it on your, now I think about it, I've seen it on your acting CV.
I opened where I walked in and I pretended to be like this really frail old Santa, like proper creaking. I was like, oh, the stick and everything. I was like, oh, hello, children. Totally kidding. Hello, children. How are you?
It did a really
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Rudolph, what are you doing here? I left you on the ceiling. How did you get down into the sky bar? Please tell. Oh, you're a plastic one. Rudolph, you cheeky old dog. Dear, even. Sorry, dog. No, you're a dear. What am I talking about? There's a lot of that.
Tobie went method actor and got lost.
No, I really enjoyed my stint as Santa. I'd 100% do it again.
Nice.
But yes, I did promise a few things that maybe I shouldn't have done. A yacht being one of them.
Oh, so he basically just gets like crushed by the anti-spirit of Christmas. Kids just want stuff. Kids just want product. And then one kid, this little girl named Rebecca, is like, yo, Santa, this glass of water is for you. You look wrecked and quite joyless up here. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm just tired. What do you want for Christmas? And she said, well, actually, I already accidentally saw my dad buying me the thing I want, so I don't want anything. He's like, well, why did you queue up? It's like an hour queue. And she said, I saw you and I wanted to give you the water. So there's a little spirit of the nice thing.
Do you know one of the best things about being Santa, and this ties into what you're just saying?
You had about 50 mince pies.
You get the non-believers. They're still kids, so they come in and they're like, you're not the real Santa though, are you? And you're like, oh. You know what? No, I'm not, but I do work for him.
Nice.
And their eyes go, wash. And it's like flooding. All that belief suddenly comes flooding back to them. And like that jadedness is just gone in a second. You're like, he's a really nice guy.
They've had it on authority from
knows everything. Absolutely. Which is why he hired me, because he knows I do a really good job. But don't tell anyone else I'm not the real Santa.
Little secrets with little kids.
You'll be listening, and they're just like, okay. And they walk out believing Santa again. You're like, yeah.
I could hop on a skipping nest there. One thing I forgot was back when he was still a kid, there's like a scene or a chapter where he sort of, I don't remember why. Jesus, I can't believe I'm lost in this 10-page book. They go to like a soup kitchen and they sort of see one of their classmates helping. They're a little like, wow, I wouldn't have thought he helped out. He's like, no, I do this every year. And they're a little guilt tripped into helping. So they sort of ask a lady, can we help? And they're like, actually, no, we're all kind of stocked up. But, you can come back another time in January. And they're like, the two other kids who are more blunt are like, we just wanted the brownie points for Christmas presents. And the woman's like, it's funny how people only ever want to help in winter when it's cold and wet out. And it's, people don't want to, why can't you just apply this energy to another time? And so, oh no, I got baseball, like excuses. So anyway, he's in the mall, like I said, and he's in like a big store, Santa ring, and he finds out one of his friends did like a sneaky deal with the manager that if he can push X amount of bikes, he gets one himself.
Wow, they are crafty, this lot.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know if it's like, what's that movie, Wall Street, where like the big banker was the villain and it's like an anti-corruption greed story. But like Wolf of Wall Street, it's like people kind of saw that guy as a hero. Like, no, he's not the villain. He's the gold. That guy's the money bags.
Yeah.
Maybe in years to come, people are like, those kids are on it. They are industrious and they are little entrepreneurs in the making.
Ahead of the curve.
So he sort of gets fed up. And when he leaves, it's like midnight. He's tired. He sort of hears something and he turns around and it's like an older kid in a car. That sort of teenage kid. And they sort of shout some abuse at him. And
he's still Santa at this point.
Yeah, he's still Santa. He can't shake that.
Does his mates know that he is Santa?
Yeah. They've had the conversation. They try to pull his beard off and all the shenanigans that ensue.
Yeah.
And he sort of smiles because he knows this kid's on the bad list and won't be getting any presents. And it becomes that horrific thing of, what are you laughing at? You laughing at me? I don't know if that means anything to many people, especially outside of the UK. I don't know. It feels a very specific kind of chavvy thing of like just finding someone like another kid aggro down the street, just looking at me, just trying to start something.
Yeah.
At that as a kid, it's horrible. It's like, help, I need an adult. I wasn't tough at all. I wasn't smart. Like I never got robbed, but it's just like basically being bullied by some. This wasn't even in school particularly. This was just
the walk home.
So this guy's like, yo, you're laughing at me. And it just sort of comes out. But the guy's like, you better say sorry for smiling or I'll beat you up. And he says, he basically goes into insult mode. Check out some of these. Ready?
This is Santa.
This is the kid as Santa.
Stand-in Santa. Okay.
And he says, I'm not going to say sorry. I'm going to say, you're so dumb. If your brain was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Right? You're so lame. You called the operator and asked for the number of 911. Zoom, intelligence zing. You're so thick, you need a recipe to make ice cubes. And you're so dim, you stayed up all night studying for your blood test.
That's a good one. I like that one. That is really good. I'm going to use that one on colleagues tomorrow.
Just really crowbar it in, and you go, okay. And you think you're smart? No, not particularly. No. So you think you're clever?
You see, like, so you are. You do.
Yeah, give me the answer I'm looking for, so I can zing this in.
You're so dumb. You studied for ice. No, what was it?
Oh no,
that will be me tomorrow.
You're smarter than Ice Cube. You are. He sneaks another one in. You're so whacked, you broke into a house and couldn't get out of it. You're so mental, you fell out of a family tree and they wouldn't let you back in. And you're so dumb, you try to wake up a sleeping bag. Obscure. This is like the school of let's make like a banana split level. But I like it. And he really sounds them off. This is literally, he lists them off. This isn't like a witty back and forth touche.
Right.
It's just a list. He just literally says all of these in one blurb of it.
Well, goes in on this, man.
Yeah, the other kids are laughing. There's one thing bullies don't like, it's being made fun of themselves.
No.
So he has to sort of do a runner. No, he doesn't. They sort of chase him and he's like, oh God, what am I going to do? It's hard to run in the Santa outfit. It's cold and it's wet. He gets a little zing, like he kind of gets Santa's voice in it. He gets cornered. And he's like, what am I going to do? And he gets like, trust me, use the force, Luke. Santa sort of like, how Santa can see the naughty things he's done?
Yeah.
So he kind of blackmails this kid to leave him alone. Like, I know about this naughty thing you did.
If you touch me.
Which I don't know how I feel about this. Like, in Toy Story, Sid from Toy Story, the kid who tortures them. Well, okay, it's a bit sadistic and destructive, but they're toys. They're not sentient. It is not the same me messing up toys as it is messing up animals.
No.
In the world, in a world that doesn't realize, the toys could say, "Don't do that. That hurts." It's their choice to be suppressed in this manner. So they kind of scared the crap out of Sid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying he's a good kid. Okay, he's a bit rough around the edges, but I don't know. Just that level out as an adult and knowing how psychology works. Did he deserve to have a literal nightmare come true because he was just destroying inanimate objects? That's a conversation for the podcast. I'm sure that's not the spirit of Christmas, but just...
No, I don't think he did. He probably didn't deserve it, but you take out of the destruction of toys and you look at the personality of him, he was still a little shit.
Yeah, but isn't there again those YouTube breakdowns where they're like, look in his living room, there's like beers all around, isn't it? Like he's a kid, he's a product of his environment.
Yeah,
he needs more help, not to go to the mental farm anyway. This kid doesn't get it that bad. He literally is just like, you leave me alone, or I'll tell everyone about this thing you did. So the kid finally gets home. Oh, you know what? There's a bus driver. He finds himself just sat on a chair, like pooped in the street, and it turns out it's a bus driver, and the bus driver's like, come on, man, you don't need to pay me, it's Christmas, just jump on. Like, I'm not going to charge Santa Claus.
Right.
So he gets back and Santa's still there working his fax machine, and he's like, Santa, I understand why you want to quit. I want to quit, and I've been doing it a day. Maybe it's time for Santa to end. But there's a little girl out there called Rebecca, and she was nice. Could you just do something for her? And there's this guy called the bus driver. Did you do something for him? Because they're good people. They're not all bad.
Yeah.
There's glimpses. And then he sort of just poops out, crashes out, and he wakes up and he's no longer Santa. He's in his body. And he's like, oh, crap, I've got to go to school. It's Monday. There's no sign of Santa. There's no letter. His parents aren't home. Oh, God, it's 10. I'm late for school. And then his friends come around and say, yo, are we hanging out? It's like, what? We got to go to school. It's a Monday. What? It's a Sunday. How was your singular night alone without the parents? He dreamt it all, Toby.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Your classic dreaming. And he says, no, you know what? I've got something I need to do. Get out of here. Doesn't really resolve anything with the mates. They are shifty with, like, they do feel guilty, but I guess for comedy maybe. So the kid basically finds a very specific green scarf, wraps up, gets the bus and goes to his family at his aunt's house. And it was like, he's just overly nice to his auntie. She's like, oh, I'm really glad to see you wear that scarf. He's like, I love this. He's like me after I got told off.
Yeah.
I love it. Give me another one. I only ever want remote control cars with an able attached from now on. And he's like, these cookies are the best ever. He's basically learned his lesson about it's not what you get, it's about what you can give. And but there's the little twist where he puts his hand in his pocket, and it's like, thanks, kid. I'm gonna carry on because of you. Wink. The big man, there's a little,
is it maybe? Could it?
The evidence, as it were. And he hears like the in the distance jingle, and he goes in and has some cookies with his aunt and his family, and he's a good kid. The next day, the bully finds him and stabs him no, that doesn't happen. It's Stephen King took over, and there's a really dark afternoon, like Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And that is Help, I'm Trapped in Santa's Body. It's a little jolly. I don't know what age range you'd say that's for. I'm going to say the 8 to 10.
Yeah, that will fit the... I would read that to a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I think so. What's girl gives birth to own prom date? that can't be for 5-year-olds, but it's definitely in the same series of Apple paperbacks. So weirdly, I want to know more. Todd
Adult
Strasser,
teen.
singular, or the team behind it.
Yeah.
Is it the Home Alone novelization, or is it a kid-friendly Home Alone novelization?
Interesting.
Yeah, I want to know what.
Fine.
I want to know what girl gives birth to own prom date is. I'm not going to lie. That sounds mental.
Does a bit.
Yeah.
So, what did you enjoy reading it?
Yeah, I mean, kinda. You know,
Okay.
it was that weird thing of like putting myself in like teacher mode, or like, who would I read this to? Like, I've got nieces and nephews of an age. I don't think they'll be in a situation where I sit down and read with them, but maybe there's a couple that are really young and maybe they would dig it.
Yeah.
I think they might. I was honestly thinking like they would get a kick out of like the sort of boogery jokes and the insults. You know, I mean, we got a kick out of it.
Yeah, they love it. Some of those bits they would really enjoy, I think.
You know, heavy hammered in anti-capitalist messages, but there's nothing. That's kind of what every Christmas movie ever was about.
Yeah,
Elf, I would honestly say Elf is a very modern film that completely and deservedly sneaks in as a Christmas classic.
Yeah,
I love Elf.
Yeah.
There's a little scene at the end where he's just flying off and he sort of sticks his head over the back of the cart to wave goodbye to the people, and the music kicks in and it brings a tear to my eye.
Oh.
Not even that magic of a moment. They're just the way it's shot he has that wonderment and the music kicks in and he's off flying on like the adventure's just begun for him.
Yeah,
it kicks something in on me. I guess it reminds me of being a kid.
You want to know something?
I
don't know if I've ever seen Elf.
Yeah, I think you're in for a treat.
Pretty sure I haven't.
You should check it out. It's probably on 5 different channels every year. Yes. It's like the new Home Alone. Very enjoyable. It's the good side of Will Ferrell. It's being dumb, but not irritating. It's like the character deserves to be this stupid and it makes sense. It's not become like a full Naked Gun satire movie where like it doesn't make sense how he's too dumb. Like he cleans his teeth, he drives a car, but he's also too dumb to like understand that glass is glass or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Very nice model.
I like the premise of Elf, but I don't know if I've ever seen it.
I don't know if Zooey Deschanel and Will Ferrell work as a great romance. It's like when she was in that Jim Carrey movie, and it's like it literally marked the end of Jim Carrey doing romance. I swear he never did one afterwards because it was like, you know, I'm not saying he's old, but the gap was hugely evident more than ever in that movie, and killed it as a result.
yeah, completely.
Tobie, what's the worst present you've ever given as a kid? Do you want me to go first? Give time. Yeah.
The worst present I've ever given. Well, can I flip it a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
It's not the worst present I've ever given, but it's the worst outcome to a present I've ever given. So much like it's one of those analogy. This is so. I was one of 3, so I'm the oldest of 3. My sister being the youngest, and my brother in the middle. Obviously, it's Christmas, and I wanted to give them a present, and we didn't have any money.
Can I ask how old you were?
I would have been about 12.
Nice. Okay. Let me say works so much better because you were so much younger.
Yeah, so I was 12, and they were like 10 and 9 or 10 and 8. Something like that. And I wanted to give everybody a present. Obviously, I couldn't afford to buy anybody anything. So I made them all, you know, what those you write something on the outside, pick the side.
Oh yeah, like a little
you go flip, and then you pick a thing on the inside, flip.
Nice.
And then you go fold it open, and I made everybody one of those.
That's cute and sweet.
Yeah, and they were great. I put a ton of effort. They were decorated, their little things and like Christmassy decorations all around the outside and everything. I spent a good amount of time on them, and everybody got one. And they played with them, and they're really enjoying them. And then, like an hour later, I came back into the living room and found them in the log fire bin.
Oh, brutal!
They were just in a basket,
discarded. Denied. Your happiness denied.
I bawled
Oh
my
no,
eyes out.
that is
I
heartbreaking.
broke down in tears, ran off to the bedroom and had to be consoled.
Oh, I want to cry
Yeah.
now, Toby.
I was devastated. And this is like you took like 12, maybe even younger.
That's brutal. Did you ever have it out with them? What was their thinking?
No,
They just thought, this is fun, but it's
it's just enough. What's this about? I don't know. I guess they just got
brutal.
over it very quickly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even so much that the toy had run its course. It was just the amount of effort I put into it. I expected them to want to keep it as a keepsake or something. But
yeah,
no,
I mean, normally you end up keeping a Christmas card in your drawer for a few years. Every few years you go, we need to clear this drawer out. There's Christmas and birthday cards here from 10 years ago. Let's just,
Yeah. But no, these ended up in the fire.
Do they listen to this podcast? Are you going to get a few text messages going, I'm so sorry, I forgot all about that?
Every Christmas I bring it up.
Oh, really? You make him another one and they go, Toby, nothing's changed. It's going in the fire in front of your very eyes again.
Honestly, so that was one of my most harrowing Christmas tales.
And you never put that much effort into a present again. I learned my lesson. You're all getting vouchers. Everyone got a voucher.
Yeah.
Boots for the rest of your life.
On the opposite of that, the best Christmas present I've ever received probably I was thinking about this earlier on, and it's a close one. It used to either be the Sandman bookends,
nice,
from Carrie, or a trip to New York.
So these are all adult presents, huh? I wonder if you not fall into I don't think trap's the right word, but like me, like whatever you got was just amazing. Like whatever your wish list was sort of evaporated to an extent. So like it was
the Amiga 500.
It was like everything was great.
Yeah.
Like my I think one of my nephews, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, a very young age, that pinnacle of hyper for Christmas. And last time I was home, we were handing out the presents, and he was just like, just wait a few seconds till everyone has their presents, and then you can do it. And he's like, I can't, just can't. And then, it's like, okay, just go. You know what I mean? He was just chomping at the bit for hours. It was almost cruel to say, you can't do this now. And it was like a frenzy of paper everywhere. And like, wow, this is amazing. Like, say, thank you, Uncle. And then when the last one was open, he just sort of looked at his mum and was like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
Like he was
this is a question for you. If you had children, or when you have children, will you divvy up the presents in one go? So they got a pile in front of them and they go at it. Will you take your time and spread it throughout the day? Like I do?
God, no! I don't think we'd handle that.
I would do we break it into 3 periods? So you get the breakfast, the lunch, and the evening present unwrapping sessions.
Because this is what you grew up with, and you're passing on.
Yeah, this is what I grew up with. Whereas
that enjoyable?
I was always.
Were you just like, give it me now?
No, I loved it. It's good because it means that the whole experience, that excitement you go to sleep with, lasts throughout the day.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah, I mean we definitely opened it together. I never understood seeing TV films or hearing about a friend who just were allowed to wake up and go for it when the parents were still asleep. That always baffled me. I was like, that sounds lonely. I don't know. I've never, I mean, I guess it's that what everyone grew up with is the perfect thing. But we did have like a stocking that was just filled with like knickknacks, and we were allowed to basically open that. And it was the equivalent of like the toys you get in the cracker, like a pair of school socks, like just literally.
Did you get an orange?
Sometimes, yeah. I think so. I think I'm young enough that that's the past. But just little things to keep you, and my dad sometimes worked on Christmas Day. He was like an airport mechanic.
Right.
So occasionally it'd be like, it's going to be a late one. You know what I mean? Like he's going to come home and we're going to have dinner and then open it.
Yeah.
But it was fun, you know what I mean? With 4 brothers, you're always playing. It was never.
Okay. Here's another question. Spoiler warning for those that don't know the answer to this. But now's your chance to stop this podcast and move on. Thanks for listening. Join us next time for another scintillating discussion about some book or something like that.
What are you about to spoil?
When did you discover that Santa wasn't real?
Oh, I think I always knew.
Really? What, from the get-go?
I just don't remember. I don't remember earnestly believing it. I think maybe the whole the 4 older brothers thing. I remember never buying that. It was fun. I loved buying into it, but without believing it.
Wow.
I think the maths never add up for me.
Right.
Like there's because my parents never did the thing where they said from Santa. It's always thank you, mum and dad. Like I just knew it was there was no question. So I must have at some point, but I honestly have no recollection of finding out, or no recollection of the year that it changed. I will say a quick answer. I'm going to ask that back at you, but the worst present I ever gave was the year I realized you have to put effort into a present, because I basically wrapped up a book from my dad's bookshelf about dinosaurs and gave it to him. I'm hoping I was 6, 7, 8. I was pretty immature kid, so maybe I was older. And I remember my brother, who was a year older than me, only 1 year older than me, going, well, you can't do that. That's stupid. And then my dad kind of gave him a look like, we just can't spoil the day. So he went, thank you, son. Just sort of put it aside and maybe I'll deal with it later. But that thing of I had no money. I didn't, I should have made something like you, but I just wanted to give someone something. Like the energy of giving was more exciting. It was as exciting as receiving.
Yeah.
Again, the energy of ruining not ruining, but again, with the same kid who was so happy about Christmas. We were just playing a game of hide and seek where you hide a ball or like a teddy and we have to find it, and he would hide it and I'd come in and he'd run and point to it and go, it's there. It's like, he was just so eager to play. He couldn't. It was just
I totally get that.
Bursting out of him. It's like, okay, but try let me find it next time. And he couldn't. He would just literally walk me to where he put it and say, it's there.
Amazing.
But how about you for believing in Santa?
I have recollections of proving to myself that he didn't exist by staying awake.
Oh no, you went hard. You went X-Files on it.
I just stayed awake, and I remember the door opening, my heart absolutely pounding in my chest because I didn't know who was going to walk through the door.
But as you had doubts.
Yeah. I wasn't 100% certain when I went out to prove it that he wasn't real, but I didn't want to get caught.
He didn't want to get caught not believing. I
didn't want him to find me or any of that sort of stuff. So, and I didn't know there'd been years before where we'd sneak down throughout the night to see when the presents were under the tree or been put under the tree. The parents had gone to bed and we'd go down and the tree was exactly as it was as we went to bed. So it can't be them. And then they would get up at 4 a.m. and do it. But I stayed awake, and it was the stockings. We had our stockings, and my dad put my stocking at the end of the beds. I was awake when he brought them in.
It was over the fireplace. It was like in a different room.
No, these were always at the end of the bed. So we'd go to sleep, and then we'd wake up, and they would be at the end of the bed waiting for us.
And you still had the catalogue open, and your finger pointing. He still does it now, listeners. I've seen him sleep. He's like, what's that? It's a PS5, Toby. He's going to buy you that. Oh no! So do you remember how you felt?
I actually do still do that. I do still do the subtle hint of looking at something on my phone while the person that you want to buy it for you is sat there right next to you, just flicking through it. And
I accidentally sent you an email by mistake about the thing. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's just something I was looking. I meant to send it to myself, and even though our names are not similar, I accidentally emailed you something I want. Sorry, you can delete it if you want. It's not important.
That's exactly it. I think,
did you spring out of dad and say, "You son of a bitch, I'll never trust you again"?
No, I just went to sleep and kept it quiet.
Did you? Were you quiet the next day? Like, Toby, you must be tired, but he's not talking much. And
no, I just think I don't actually remember the rest of it. I just remember
it just confirmed.
Light,
it just confirmed something.
The pillowcase hitting the bottom of the bed and just being like, okay.
Those odd moments where you feel your childhood slipping and you can't put your finger on it intentionally.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Nice.
Wow.
Toby, what's coming up next year on the podcast? What are the definites that you want to do?
Oh, well, we've definitely got Holly coming up.
We have Holly, Stephen. At the time we're recording this, Stephen King's latest. He's about to whop a bloody short story out, so it's not Stephen King's latest for long.
But yes, it will be Stephen King's latest. I also have on the back burner waiting to go Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
Nice. Some
which
fantasy
is a
stuff we
brand.
don't do too much of.
Yeah, Brandon Sanderson. I'd also like to do a quick review at some point of Jonathan Livingston's Seagull.
Wow. Am I right? That's like Christian literature.
Yes, I believe it is.
Nice. I have read it. I don't remember it. We'll get into that when the time comes.
Yeah, so I've got that on my list. What are you, Scott?
Keeping up with Brandon Sanderson, I have Tress of Emerald, I believe it's called.
Oh, yes, that's the first of the new.
One of these batch. I'm going to give that a read. I'm currently reading The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood. Her first novel. I'm going to throw that at you.
Mm-hmm.
Have
nice.
Terry Pratchett coming your way, I believe.
Oh, that'll be a treat.
I normally read a couple of books that Tobie's read of King, which means what's the one with the War and Priest? Revelation, maybe. Revival, and maybe Evelation, one of the super short ones, and maybe one of those crime ones. Even though it's not quite my bag, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I do. I can go with that. I'm on board.
I've got a few sword and sorcery fantasies I might throw at you as well. I'd like to do one or two more H.P. Lovecrafts.
And hopefully, towards the beginning of the new year, we'll have the second part of the Alice Choose Your Own Adventure.
Nice. I do enjoy doing the voices.
Yeah, that was great. That was a good in that one.
And that's not including all the random stuff we read. That's like I don't know if that's planned. That's the stuff that's on the horizon, but we'll always just pick up random books.
The chunky ones.
There'll be a movie coming out we've been meaning to read, so we'll cram that out.
Yes.
Hope you've had a good year, listener. We had a cracking year, I think. We had a bit of a break. But
yes, we did. It's been wonderful. We've really enjoyed doing these. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to them. We got some good feedback from Spotify.
Apparently they give us a little yearly breakdown.
Big in Korea?
I think we got like a couple. I mean, big for us. We got like 12 new listeners in Korea, and 12 anything for us in a short week span is
big up Korea.
I love your cinema. I love your TV. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much for your wit and charm. So yes, Merry Christmas,
listeners.
Happy New Year.
Have a bloody good Christmas. Oh, no need for that language at this late juncture. Have a lovely Christmas. Have a lovely New Year. Hey, we're going to wrap it up around there. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. Join us again next episode. And until then, go look at bookstores and have a lovely Christmas.